Does this have a name? Is it just moonshine in a juice box? I think we need.
No,
Moonshine.
it's called Kindergarten Cop.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Shitty Cinema, where we four friends sit here, we torture each other, and make ourselves regret all of our actions.
Well, let me also welcome non-gender, non-binary, and all the other tropes that this movie tried to fucking point at us to use as a weapon towards us.
You just, weaponized my own statement against me.
Yeah, that's what this whole movie's about.
Coming in real hot here.
Yeah.
There are good movies and there are great movies, and neither of those are the categories of films that we watch.
No. Why? Dave, why do we do this to each other?
Just as a little bit of context, I was just looking at the notifications on my watch, and I still have a notification stuck on there from when I watched The Meg with Jason Statham last night. And I just looked at The Meg on there and thought, wow, too bad we weren't watching something good like that.
Because this is shitty cinema.
This is very shitty cinema.
And this is extraordinarily unique day that we have here today.
And
I don't know
guys,
about that.
This is not your fault. This is Jay's fault.
Yeah,
this is my fault.
Because this is
This is
Jay's
all Jay's
movie
fault.
this week.
Well, it is. All right, so I am Jay, the ruiner of weeks.
I'm Dave, the ruined.
I'm Casey, and I'm gonna fucking ruin you.
I'm Juice, and apparently that makes me the catalyst.
Yeah, well, as Catalyst this week, it's true, because this week I followed your lead, Juice, and we watched 2016's, and last week I said 2015, so correction, 2016's Kindergarten Cop 2.
Yeah.
The
Wait a minute,
26th
wait a
year
minute.
in the making sequel.
Wait a minute. Would you say that you are a powder keg and Juice is living on a spark?
Yes. Yeah. I knew
Okay,
where you were
good.
going. I knew you
All
were
right,
going.
all right, you piece of shit.
Yeah, so and it fit perfectly with this month's theme,
Okay.
which
Did it?
Yeah, it did. It did.
No.
Because this month's theme is back to school, right? Where we pick, and that's our shtick, right? We pick movies that go along with whatever theme that is this month. And this month's being back to school. We watched Kindergarten Cop 2, and I followed in Juice's footsteps. He did this first.
Hey, I came to ruin all of our childhoods. You came to ruin us.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, you came to ruin our day, and honestly, the past is the past, but
This
can't keep drinking my feelings, goddammit. I volunteer on Mondays.
This was an interesting experiment because you got to see what happens when people raised on movies like Kindergarten Cop get to grow up and then remake movies like Kindergarten Cop.
Don't tell me
Dolph
these
Lundgren
things.
is not a
Yeah,
millennial.
yeah.
No, this wasn't people our age.
Yeah, he didn't write it.
he produced it. Remember,
That's
this
true.
stars and is produced by Dolph Lundgren. So I thought immediately this was going to be a good thing. I love Schwarzenegger. I love Dolph Lundgren.
He's great.
I thought he's a great follow-up. 26 years later might be, a thing that I should have
So
cautioned
weird.
myself on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least...
You know why?
Why?
Because he's someone's racist grandpa now.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you age.
Yeah, well, I mean, when the world is just filled with all of these super liberal pussies, you kind of
These
gotta...
pussy-ass kids.
Yeah, I know.
These kids, the
This is bullshit.
These pussy-ass kids.
I just want to point out at the beginning of this month when I made a Gran Torino joke, I was not expecting us to hew so closely to that character type.
You can't fucking make jokes around these people, Dave. Did you learn
I
nothing?
see that now.
What you're saying is this is your fault.
You don't know. Don't you pass that buck.
Yeah, mine wasn't super racist.
No, it just
Well,
a
neither was mine.
good story
No, mine
about
didn't have-
Treat Williams treating people well.
Treating people well. You had Bad Daddy Wong. Fixing cars, working overtime, and then getting demonized for it.
Demonized.
Demonized.
It kind of that is a story of
Getting
racism.
the sexiest stabbing in the schoolyard. Jesus Christ.
I mean, you have Asian oppression over there.
What?
I mean,
I got weird.
Wow, why do we take it there? No, we're just talking about sexy stabbing.
All
Don't make
right.
it weird, Juice. God damn.
Jay, we need you to come up with an elevator pitch for this movie. You are in the
You have a
statue
time
garden.
machine. You can pitch this movie
Yeah.
to someone who matters.
We're going to take you back in time. You've just encountered Dolph Lundgren in a statue garden.
Okay, yeah, that seems appropriate. What year is it?
It's 2015. a year before this movie was made. They got it out pretty quick.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so
Filmed in 10 days.
you've just been teleported into this statue garden with Dolph Lundgren. But
3 porn
unbeknownst to
sets.
you, some children are clambering out of the statues behind your
They're
back.
part of
with
the porn
sticks.
statue. Porn.
Yeah, they're getting ready to just murder the crap out of you.
They got sticks.
Or
Those
make
sticks are
allegations
sharp.
at you and ruin your life forever. Mm-hmm.
Hey, we don't need to bring more into this. They gave us plenty to talk about. So 10 seconds before the children brutally murder you, Jay.
FBI agent Dolph Lundgren goes undercover in kindergarten to repeat a movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger did better.
Yeah. Had 2 seconds to spare there.
Thank you.
Ish.
But, I'm not the only person having to elevator pitch in this awful rock garden because you know who's next to me and I'm also about to get murdered. Sculpture garden, whatever. Fucking sculptures are made of rocks, Dave.
And you
I'm
thought
not a
I was
scientist.
a sculpture the whole time. I was just really high and scared in the elevator, so I stood still because I know people are really velociraptors
Well,
and they
you-
only detect movement.
Yeah, you just watched Jay get a stick shoved right up his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Get about 10 seconds to save yourself here.
That seems fitting.
Someone's weird hashtag Grandpa Bay tries to MK Ultra kids who already have been MK Ultra'd.
Nice. That was
Wow.
7 seconds.
Thank you.
Excellent.
That was the movie I watched. All the rest of you sheep will probably have a totally different plot.
I just
about
like that
social justice.
if I glance over and look at your notes, the first thing I see is just peanuts with question marks and circles around it.
I thought it was Dolph Lundgren with his bad blow up lips.
You really captured.
Look at the fear
the
in his
chin.
eyes. Yeah, but the fear in his eyes.
There's a few characters in Kindergarten Cop 2 that we need to talk about. And the first is obviously Dolph Lundgren. He's the main character in this. He plays the Arnold role from the first one where he's an FBI agent and he ends up becoming a secret teacher for kindergarten students to try and find a flash drive.
You know, I didn't realize it until they got put right next to each other that they are both the type of people that you don't think they're actually speaking how they should. Like, Arnold sounds like he's mocking himself, and Dolph Lundgren sounds like he just swallowed a sock.
Dolph Lundgren sounded like he had something in his mouth the whole time, like one of our dogs try to hide stuff in their mouth, like treats. And he can he's trying to disguise the fact that he's chewing gum or is eating a Jolly Rancher the whole time. Where you're like, can you move your fucking tongue properly and enunciate the words? It's like that's not an accent thing. It's
Yeah, no,
it's a
that's just
hiding
Dolph,
something.
though.
I think
He's
it's probably
hiding something.
It's slow release acid that he dipped under his tongue.
We call that the treat pocket in our household because one of our dogs always gets treats stuck in her mouth. We have to massage it out of her jaw.
True story.
So I think Dolph Lundgren might have a treat pocket where he's storing Twix.
That's true.
Dolph Lundgren and his chin would be nothing without his partner, which they never define what that means in this movie.
No,
Bill
but they,
Bellamy.
we do have to suspect that they live together.
Well, Dolph Lundgren is a serial monogamist in this, and that he keeps dating women that he's involved with. So I think there's good reason to believe that and there's the whole kind of love story thing toward the end that they try and push on us.
With Bill
But
Bellamy?
you know what really
we're
sucks?
we're not talking about Bill. I'm just saying that.
You know what really sucks is that you described Dolph Lundgren and Arnold Schwarzenegger the exact same. Stereotypical
say-
misogynist.
No. Because Dolph turns down a woman's tender touch because he's monogamous to Bill Bellamy.
Yeah.
What a doll.
Bill Bellamy is great.
Do you know who else we have? So we don't know her name. We don't know her character's name, but we do know what our good friend and longtime friend of the podcast, Sarah, called her, a sex actor. You can tell by her eyebrows.
Oh, yeah, the
You
girl.
can tell by her eye makeup. Definitely a sex actor.
She was a sex actress at some point in her life.
The female. I checked her IMDb. She's done a lot of. She's
The female
So,
officer.
In the movie, she is the other kindergarten teacher, and just like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first Kindergarten Cop, had
she's
a
the
love
exact
interest.
Same character.
Yeah,
from
she's the
first
exact
one.
same.
Only
character.
she didn't ruin her body with a baby like the last one.
Oh, the last one did have the kid. That's
Yeah,
right. I
she had a
forgot.
kid that was in Arnold's class. This lady is
Dominic.
fucking sexy single free.
And she's also super into Dolph's right-wing ideologies.
Oh my God. You violated my autonomy, but now I'm turned on about it.
You touched me in that special spot on my arm.
God damn this movie. I don't want to go here.
You gotta.
They took it. Hey, this here is 2016.
Here.
That is really close to here.
Have some hot jug wine.
Enjoy the jug wine.
It'll feel better. I'll have some moonshine out of a child's drink box.
We also have who's probably the best actor in this entire movie and the villain, and he's Russian, and he has a name that's
Zygo.
Zogu.
I called him Rusty.
I thought it was
Zugo.
It was Zygo.
Sure.
Was it
Whatever.
Z-U-G-O or Z-O-G?
Zygotes
I think
are
it
always
was. I
trying
think
to
it was
ruin your
Zugo.
life.
Zugo.
What?
It was Zugo.
Z's in a lot of round letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Goku.
it worked. Honestly, in comparison to last week, that was the best part. The villain was actually believable and pretty enjoyable.
I don't know about believable, but he really was having fun with that role and committed to it.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
more than anyone else.
He
Yeah,
hammed it
he
up
did.
something hard.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
He was the end of it.
We
Yeah.
had some other characters, but they'll come up in previous topics.
Nobody that really matters.
No.
The captain, the principal.
The
They're just a
principal
bunch of
was the shit.
stereotypes.
All right, then I'll give you the plot.
Can you tell me? Oh, is there a plot?
Yeah.
How about instead of a plot, you
Technically.
just fucking tell us what happened because
Can
there
we
was
just-
no plot, but things did happen.
I'm gonna call it a plot.
Can we just put a reference? See episode 2 of Back to School Month because it was the same fucking
okay,
movie.
there's a little bit. Let's go over what happened. We get Dolph Lundgren in a very similar opening scene. There's some action, and including the Rusky that will become the main villain.
Rusky.
Whatever. Who will become the main villain? I'm not
Wow,
going to be
racist.
I'm not committed to all that tongue rolling.
Rusky. Yeah.
And she's ruined me. So we have the Ruski here, and he's getting arrested, and we end up finding out that they arrest another guy that claims that he has access to the entire witness protection database. And so this movie is structured around him trying to find that because he gave it to his brother, and his brother was murdered in a car accident. So I guess not really murdered, but he died. And after
It was staged.
it was whatever.
That's what that was implying.
Regardless
This
of
whole thing
whether
was
it was
a
staged.
stage.
Sure, right. No, well, we'll get to that. Aside it being a stage, he had all of the database on a flash drive, and so Dolph Lundgren goes undercover to find out where the location of this flash drive is, and he does that because the guy that died was a teacher, and he goes to this kindergarten to become a kindergarten teacher, and he goes through and forms this relationship. But yeah, it's very similar to the first Kindergarten Cop. It's just at the end there's a Russian guy that they get.
Was the guy in the first one not Russian?
No, he was.
No.
He
Oh,
was
I'm sorry,
Just a stereotypical New Yorker crime.
You'll notice though that Dolph Lundgren doesn't get shot like Schwarzenegger does.
Yeah, but you also know that his
Unfortunately,
classroom pet doesn't even attack anyone.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
He's a
And it's a
terrible
guinea pig and
teacher.
stuff.
it's because of all of these goddamn left-leaning liberals.
Oh, God.
They're
his
taking
guinea
away guns
pig
in school.
Didn't have a gun. He turned into a pussy-ass guinea pig. You know what we had as kids? Fucking hermit crabs that
Okay.
could pinch the dick off a priest the minute he tried to touch you.
If we're gonna keep running into the alt-right, maybe we should give some context for that, because you two are just diving in.
What the fuck am I talking? I'm talking about hermit crabs.
I'm talking about the Confederate flag shirt you're wearing right now.
What the fuck? Do not tell people that they can't see that you're wrong. I will post on my private Snapchat. I don't own Confederate flag anything, unlike all our neighbors.
Yeah, one of the more absurd things is indeed that the flash drive contains apparently just an Excel spreadsheet that's the witness protection database.
Because that's how you keep it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
other than
What
that, or
else?
MS Paint is how I always keep my important documents. Duh.
2L. I mean, we are kindergarten teachers here. We
Blur.
all just have
Blur.
the kindergarten.
You know
Blur.
what? That fits with
Blur.
the theme of the incompetent government that this movie is pitching us. So yeah, thank you, Casey. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
They store it in MS Paint. So the MS Paint database ends up being hidden, and what we end up finding out is that Dolph Lundgren learns that this annoying poem that the children keep repeating to him over and over and over is actually a specific type of poem where the first letter of each word spells something out, and it spells out time capsule. But let's be clear here, when it spells out time capsule, they get to time C, And I get really excited because I assume that the next letter is going to be O, and it's going to be fucking Time Cop.
And then all of a sudden, someone's going to come in and shoot a fucking gun at Dolph Lundgren, and then he's going to jump up on a kitchen counter and do the splits. And suddenly, whoa, where are his pants?
No.
What? Where are those kids? Maybe they took his pants like sexy little elves, and what's going on?
I think the biggest part we're missing is that the kids don't get shot.
Oh, my God. No one got shot in this fucking movie.
So the Russian who has been tailing him for a while now because he's out, even though he was arrested because he's expensive,
rich,
and he's expensive. He's rich,
expensive.
He's real expensive. He costs a lot of money. He's filthy rich and has a bunch of power, and so he takes Dolph Lundgren and his love interest to the statue garden, which is why we were there previously, which is where the time capsule is about to be buried by the nerdy teacher and the kids, and they have a standoff, and then the Russians kind of get their asses beat by Dolph Lundgren, mostly.
And the children.
Oh,
They
yeah.
help.
The Trojan horse children.
Oh, yeah, Dolph Lundgren. Okay, so Dolph Lundgren trains the children to get sticks and attack their Russian mob attackers.
You know what?
Let me tell you this. This movie is supposed to take place over 5 days. The bulk of this movie. There's a 1-year time gap in the first 5 minutes, but it's supposed to take place over 5 days. Now, Dolph Lundgren teaches these kids very complex military tactics. These kids, if they were not already being groomed for brainwashing, wouldn't have caught on so fast. And we'll go into Casey's Corner later about how this is a dog whistle movie.
And he basically just taught them how to
all of
inside
these
things
little
and hit people
child
with sticks.
Yeah.
soldiers,
It's not a-
how to hide inside things, how to hide things inside of you, how to kill adults.
That was
how
not
to
actually in the film.
Oh,
Yes, it was.
yes, it was, because where was the flash drive before it was in the time capsule?
I think it was one of the ones that was hanging around the nerdy teacher's neck the entire damn movie.
Yeah, I don't think so. But we'll go on.
I know you really want to bring somebody's prison pocket into this.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But the text does not support that reading.
Is there anything in the movie I missed?
There was the love story that sucked and was dumb.
Oh, yeah.
There's the way that this school is portrayed as just a liberal.
Playground.
It's called Right the Fuck Out. Like,
Yeah,
it's
they
yeah.
explicitly
Right in the beginning.
Like
liberal this.
no one gets punished, and it's a peanut-free zone. And
It is a peanut-free zone.
And everybody is a vegetarian because it's Meatless Monday.
Yeah,
It
Meatless
is.
Mondays.
It is an absurd exaggeration of what I assume a certain demographic of people thinks another certain demographic of people are.
Yeah, because it costs $50,000 to send your kid to kindergarten in this universe.
Yeah, that's normal, right?
Yeah, in that universe.
That's why I don't have kids, because I can't afford to send them to kindergarten.
No.
They're fucking expensive. I guess there's some things in this movie that we loved and some things that we hated, and we can talk a little bit through some of that stuff.
There were things that happened. I'm impressed
That's a lot.
that, like, last week we watched Kindergarten Cop, and I was thinking, wow, this is all the things about the 90s that I hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we watch Kindergarten Cop 2 and think, wow, this is all the things about right now that I hate.
No, it was so...
So they got that right,
Yeah,
at least.
but we at least got a 26-year buffer of watching Kindergarten Cop. Maybe if we watch Kindergarten Cop 2 in 26 years, I don't know. I don't want to.
No, I'm
That
not
sounds
signing
terrible.
up for that.
That's not a good. That's not a good.
Yeah,
thing
I'm
to
not.
do.
I'm
Don't-
not signing up. For
I better
that at
not
all.
get that calendar
They
invite.
tried to recreate some of the characters, the kid characters, the kid obsessed with death, the kid that says vagina, that tries to talk about pussies but can't because he's a pussy. You know, it's just like the dead teacher.
The dumb kid montages.
Yeah, they really borrowed heavily from the first film, and by borrowed heavily, they really tried to make sure that they squeezed in every.
Just whole cloth.
I
Whole
wanted
cloth
to
cut
watch
back.
Dolph Lundgren carry Bill Bellamy in the rain like he did his partner in the first movie when she
That
had
didn't happen.
like food poisoning or pregnancy poisoning
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck was wrong with her at the time.
Yeah. No, it
She was
wasn't
sick.
going to happen because this is liberal America.
So they
And we need to revolt.
they take the children and they put them in an interrogation, and they go through essentially the opening scene with Schwarzenegger in in the first Kindergarten Cop sitting there
Where's
talking
your
to the
daddy
kids.
and what does he do?
Right. And we get the exact same thing, but they never really show them asking the question, but they're being interrogated because this is the FBI.
What do you know about flash drive?
What do you know about the flash drive? And they put them in a room with a spotlight on them, sitting at the end of a long table, and there's a fucking two-way mirror, and they go through the exact same jokes we got in the first one.
Yep. But not as good. Those kids were way better actors.
That's true.
Because they weren't coddled with Meatless Monday.
Does that include the Pizza Hut kid?
I'm counting people with souls. What color hair does he have, David?
Oh, no.
What? I fucking stand by that.
I know, and
Fight
you're
me.
a fucking terrible person because of it.
Suck a dick.
So that's a failure of them to copy from the other one. There's other areas, too, where they copy from the first movie.
Like having children in it, because they were the worst part of this movie. Dave was upset, and rightfully so, that they had several scenes, including the outtake scenes at the end of the movie, where it's just like kids eating poop-colored things and then showing you their mouths. Like,
they were chocolate cookies.
Yeah.
Number 1, kids are disgusting. Number 2, masticating's disgusting. Number 3, if you multiply those two things, you have a fucking black hole of wipe your fucking mouth and kill yourself.
Yeah, like no movie should ever come with the pitch. Oh yeah, there's a scene where a bunch of kids eat cookies with their mouth open directly to the camera.
But then
I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that movie.
But you film it like a horror film, where you zoom in a ton and then put that awkward movie
horror film. Okay.
So if you go and read. I just want to read to you guys real quick the IMDb snippet on this. It's very short, and it's very important because it'll give you context for the next bit we're going to talk about. Kindergarten Cop 2. Assigned to recover sensitive stolen data, a gruff FBI agent goes undercover as a kindergarten teacher. But the school's liberal, politically correct environment is more than he bargained for.
Okay, but now I want you to read those before you bring the movie.
No.
Son
That's
of a
silly.
bitch.
I saw Kindergarten Cop 2, I saw Dolph Lundgren, and I saw 2016, and I said, check.
I'm going to bounce that check into your fucking face right now. You need to start researching this shit before you bring it.
Maybe we get some really interesting, real right-wing views espoused in this. So Dolph Lundgren's sitting there talking to the
Plays
kids.
Alex Jones.
He does play Alex Jones. He's sitting there talking to the kids, and he's doing the who is your daddy and what does he do, but it's flash drives. And
It's technology time.
right, and the girl finishes her statement up with, I don't know, but my dad says the government is taking away our rights. And Dolph Lundgren looks straight at the camera, nods, and goes, good.
Like, good.
And I didn't
Her
take that
dad
as
knows that and then can, like, arm her
Yeah,
against
it's
the world with
supporting-
that information. Or, like, good, I'm glad they are. You little
No, good.
indigo child
You know that.
shitbag.
You need to go after the government because, according to the alt-right, the government is evil.
You should attack government offices in the name of Dolph. This is not condoned by Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren then afterwards reads a book about sharing, and in response to the book about sharing, slams the book down,
Slams it.
goes off on a rant, an absolute crazed view about how sharing is awful and that you should never be ashamed of the things that make you better than other people.
It's not your fault if everyone else is a pussy and you beat the shit out of everyone to climb to the top and you're just slipping in the blood of your classmates and they're like, mister, you need to leave. You gotta go. And just use the bowels of the other kids. And just... No, don't.
This is your first strike.
All right. We're making a lot of jokes here, but for context, it is important to know he tells the kindergartners that their book about sharing is liberal BS.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the exact quote he
quote
uses.
from the movie.
He also, I should say, says that never apologize for the things that make you better than other people.
God, fuck you. Fuck you, Jay.
This is true.
To kindergartners.
I'm not sorry. Ranch dressing gave me big titties. Okay.
One of the visual
Neat.
treats we get is an actual false flag.
Oh,
yeah.
my God. Okay.
They're playing
Can I
Capture the
just-
Flag.
Can I just say that this whole movie, I've been yelling, as with a lot of movies, about dog whistles, false flag operations. And finally, someone believes me that there's all this shit planted in movies, especially this. I mean, like, if you can't see it in this movie, I can't make you see it.
Nothing was planted in this movie.
Oh my God.
It was billboarded in
Thank
this
you.
movie.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's billboarded in
neon.
most movies. And you guys are like, what are you talking about? And I'm so glad that, like, maybe this can be your
That's because you're usually
stepstone
accusing
in.
an extra of pedophilia or something.
I played the Law and Order drinking game for many years, so I'm really good at picking out deviants in side characters. No one has blacked out to as much Law and
Case-
Order as I have.
Tell us how much you love the false flag effort.
Listen, this whole movie was a call to arms for the children watching it. Here's the thing, though.
Were
the
children
kids,
watching this?
That's a
I
good
mean,
question.
Well, we just watched Johnny Yes Papa, but that has
God, we did.
1.3 billion views. Children are watching that over and over and over and over. And when parents see Kindergarten Cop with Dolph Lundgren, and look, he's smiling, and the kids look rueful, they're going to not even fucking pay attention to what their kids are watching because no one gives a shit about their kids. They don't care what they're watching. Just stop fucking talking. So, kids are watching this movie over and over and over, and they're learning things about Trojan horses, false flag operations, building a bomb, storing a flash drive somewhere in your body, hamsters. This whole movie.
Was there a bomb? was that the tofu in the microwave? Was that
Yes!
bomb making instructions?
Honestly, the original.
That's
cut
how
of this
liberals
movie,
make bombs, Dave.
There's a section where they blow up tofu in a microwave. The original cut was a guinea pig, but PETA freaked out because the liberal media doesn't like blowing up fucking guinea pigs and hamster in microwaves like we all used to when we were kids in the 70s. You know? All of us.
I don't know
Every
anything
single
about
one of
that.
us. You know, when you were like 13 in the 70s, you just like used to torture animals for fun, and then you went to military school and weren't allowed to talk about it anymore.
I distinctly do not remember that.
We were all there.
All
It
right.
was fine.
All right.
It was fine. They also say they're going to take their holiday festival down to just the festival to honor the agnostics.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
What?
Wouldn't the agnostics just want a question mark?
I think agnostics still celebrate holidays.
To wrap up, all of these kids are little child soldier victims that are just basically there to do your bidding if you know the fucking right code word or clap sequence.
Okay, this spawned what I would consider to be the greatest thing that came out of this movie. I have a proposal, and it's for Kindergarten Cop 3. And I know that you're like, what? We need a third one? Bear with me.
Okay.
In the third one, what happens is we get Arnold and his children army, and we get Dolph.
Are they
And
children or has the passage of time ravaged
No,
them
it's-
and they're adults like us broken?
Casey, we already introduced Time Cop. Remember? Time Cop. That's
Okay, so
important.
they're all the same age.
Right. So they transport to the future where it's kindergarten battles, right? And they're the generals. And so, A, we're going to get a Schwarzenegger versus Lundgren fight, which I think is always a win-win for us.
Yeah.
B, they can use their children to war against each other, and the entire movie will be them fighting to see who wins.
Like a nap horde.
Like a nap horde. Yeah.
Okay.
Dolphs do some strategery, and I think, personally, Schwarzeneggers are quite powerful.
I also think that it's got to be a fight to the death, so that the last.
Well,
student-
yeah.
I don't
That's why
know
we get it-
because Lundgren seemed more well organized.
I don't know. Okay, we got to get it directed by Quentin Tarantino so that when the children, get their heads cut off and
They
such,
just like
the blood
spray.
flies everywhere. Yeah.
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 They
And
all
then at the
have
very
very
end-
high blood pressure
Right.
for children.
Right.
Well,
So that's
especially-
salt from whatever they're eating.
Especially when you got them running around, for 3 hours attacking each other with
Yeah.
swords. Then you get, at the very end, the last student is anointed by the principal to become the next principal.
Oh, I like where you're
And then
going
I
here.
feel like
Mhm.
the older children
Yeah, this is how they choose the principal
are
in
going to
school.
be stronger overall, but it's nice that the newer children can get that real sugar buzz push, like some nitro. You know what they didn't do that the last movie did?
Invest
What?
in fucking sets.
I was going to say pay rent so they could get some motherfucking sets. I've seen way better sets in porn. and porn that hasn't been clicked on that much.
Absolutely.
This was Neil Breen level fucking set work.
Yeah, porn at least looks like they rented a decent Airbnb to shoot in. This was just
the
like
settiest sets that I've ever set.
The settiest sets you've ever set. It's just so fake and so bad. It looked like a soap opera, but worse.
At one point,
way worse.
At one point, our feed cut down to like the 480, where everything is grainy, and it actually looked decent for a second.
Yeah,
it's better if you can't really pick out the details very well.
Yeah, it's like when you watch an old movie that was shot for standard definition and they've remastered it, and you're like, this was really not lit for an HD.
Right.
But this was made in 2016. We know how to make HD movies now.
we said it looked like the intro episode of Psych. The way it was lit, way too bright. It was a USA movie special.
Yeah.
Where it was way too bright. Everyone's makeup was way too hard. The sex actors' eyebrows were way too thin. Your facial features, thin eyebrows are for people with delicate facial features.
And
hence why I don't have them. And you shouldn't either, honey.
And those muscles are definitely meant for a one-night stand.
Oh, my God. That is one of the best lines of the movie.
Yes. That is a great line.
Where the sex actor tells... We never learned her name.
Preferred nomenclature?
Yes, the sex actor.
Looks at Dolph Lundgren after he's like, yeah, I'm not trying to fuck about after a night because I've been grilling fish. I'm grilling my trailer by the lake in Salt Lake, Seattle. La la. I'm going to cut your skin off. And she's like, I'm sorry. You said you were monogamous and all of that drivel? Well, I don't believe it because your muscles scream one night stand. What?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, because my muscles... So then what do my muscles say about me?
Juice, your muscles say frequent disappointing one-night stands.
Frequent?
Yeah, but disappointing.
Say,
You're giving me something there.
I got you, buddy. I got you.
Find me. We're under here somewhere.
The sets really are awful. It's not just one. There's a bedroom that looks like the cheesiest bedroom in anything you've ever seen.
The police station.
The police station. The motel.
The motel. Jesus.
The fucking school itself is definitely not a model, if that's what you think it is.
The school, all of the shots of the kindergarten felt like watching, like, Saved by the Bell and shit from that era where they would show you exterior shots and then cut to the inside and you're like, these are not the same.
Right. This is clearly two different places.
These are not okay.
Do you think they had a funding problem for this movie?
No.
Are you sure?
No, it's just like any other movie. They really had a problem bringing in enough opioids.
I disagree.
I think they might have had a funding problem.
Maybe they were dog whistling someone, a corporation,
I'll
funneling money. Who would it be?
Who it is?
Who would it be?
I'll tell you who it is.
Tell me.
We start out when, in the beginning of the movie, Dolph Lundgren gets frustrated because he goes to a vending machine and he tries to purchase a Twix candy bar.
The best.
The best, and it doesn't work, but later on that's attacked and they use the vending machine as armor, and when it falls down, the one thing that falls out is a Twix, and he makes a show of picking up and eating the Twix.
And then later in the movie, him and the hot teacher lady.
The sex actor?
They're on a date. The hot sex actor, yes. They're on a date, and they're at his trailer, right?
Uh-huh.
His trailer down by the river. And
it's literally a trailer down by the river.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. I'm also not kidding when I say that he pulls out a Twix, and the sex actress goes, "But didn't you make dessert?" He says, "I always love a Twix."
And then later, he is being held hostage and about to be killed, and he asks if he can have a last meal. And
he
what does he pull out?
A fucking Twix.
A fucking Twix. And the villain, the Rusky, goes, "Ooh, he's good candy bar."
Good candy bar.
I mean, because everyone loves Twix.
No.
Do they have Twix in Russia?
I don't know.
The other thing we hated, the kids. God damn the kids.
Fucking kids. I mean,
we could dirty faces and their stupid names. And yes, I know it's playing on tropes and whatnot, but like, they were so much worse than the 90s kids.
Oh my God. One of the kids was named Cowboy.
Why do you have to remind me of this shit?
Because that's how they make fun of liberals.
Also, the kid that's getting beaten at home, he somehow, Dolph Lundgren, fixes the dad like, hey, I can talk to a friend and get you a job being an old salesman if you want. He's like, you do that for me? He's like, no, I'd do it for your daughter, so you stop hitting her. Or you can do what Arnold Schwarzenegger did, is knock his fucking dick in the dirt in the front of the school. That's what happens to bad men who hit little kids.
That's what happens because now everybody is so fucking liberalized. We had 8 years of Obama, and now it's not okay to hit a child's parent in the middle of the fucking schoolyard.
Yeah, actually, that scene would have been a lot more on brand for this one than the first one.
I don't think so.
Because he was going on the whole time about, kids these days soft, and you just got to smack it out of them.
Was he?
It was implied.
He never implied hitting them. I was implying it heavily the whole time I was watching the movie. You know my saying, you gotta hit kids a little. Just a little. Not a lot, like spanking. Not like hard spanking, but, you know.
Here's the important question. Dave, you're attendant. Would you watch this again?
Oh, God. No. Let's just get that out of the way real quick. I don't know. This is more of a kid's movie than the previous Kindergarten Cop was, but it's also very much not a kid's movie. So this is like watching Barney while your dad screams at Fox News in the background.
Yeah.
I cuck you, you cuck me.
Oh, no.
We're a cucking family.
And again, despite starring an action star, we still had surprisingly little action. So I definitely would not watch this again, and I'm just so upset that I watched it this one time. Juice, how about you? Are you going to sit down and watch Dolph Lundgren at the head of a classroom again?
No, you actually completely vindicated my answer from last week that I would watch the first Kindergarten Cop again, because this was worse. This was beyond that line.
It was.
So, no. I couldn't do it. It was uncomfortable. You touched me in my scary place, Jay. You touched me in my no-no square.
In your prison pocket?
In my kindergarten prison pocket. Casey, I got a movie stuck up my kindergarten prison pocket. You want to check it out for me?
Hold on. I wrote a song. I cuck you, you cuck me. We're a cucking family with a lock her up and a hashtag him too. I won't watch this, Jay. Fuck you.
Yay!
Yay! No. No. I won't.
That may be the sickest burn anyone's ever gotten me with. I just want to put that out there.
I will not watch this again in a box with a fox. Nothing. This movie was fucking terrible.
Well, fucking Goldilocks.
There were two things that were the least bit entertaining in this movie. Number one, the prospect of Dolph Lundgren trying to woo a woman half his age in a trailer in Seattle and then deciding to really up the ante by taking her to a fucking cowboy bar. We decided instead of Farmers Only, there's DolphLundgrenOnly.com where your only option is to date Dolph Lundgren and wait your fucking turn in line. Also, when the fat guy with tattoos on his arms gets tased in the nuts and he shits his pants.
That was
the
great.
Computer nerd guy tries to blame Dolph Lundgren for having a taser in the school when it's really the fat guy's, but he's mad because he's banging out the former sex actor, now teacher, and tries to frame him for it. The principal at the time accidentally stun guns him in the penis and
right
then
in the
keeps doing
nads.
it right in the nads, actually the gonads, and starts to electrocute him and can't stop. Other than that, this movie was completely fucking intolerable drivel. It took us 30 fucking minutes to figure out who is this movie for. Nobody wanted this. This is not why I pay $8 a month to Netflix.
This movie is for kids who go to school wearing a full suit.
Armani.
Yeah.
Jay, look at me with your good eyes. Would you watch this again?
This movie features a hipster country band, which may or may not be my worst nightmare.
I still don't know if it was ironic.
I don't know either. This was absolutely not
Answer quickly.
not something that I want to watch again. No, I would not watch this movie again. Did you really think I was going to say yes?
I don't know you anymore.
Oh,
I don't
That's
know
fair.
you anymore.
Come on, it's not. Okay, again, the hipster country music band is terrifying, and there really isn't much good going for it. In fact, had I not just watched Kindergarten Cop, the first one, this one would not be as amusing because I wouldn't have seen all of the overt references to.
Then why
replicating the
did you
exact same thing.
fucking make us watch it?
It seemed like a good idea at the time. Well, okay. So Kindergarten Cop 1, Kindergarten Cop 2, but next week it's going to be Dave's problem. Dave, what are you bringing for us next week?
David, help me.
Next week, we are going back to 1985.
Save me, David.
I don't know if you're going to feel quite the same way, because we'll be watching Val Kilmer in Real Genius.
I hate Val Kilmer.
I just need
'cause you're
to
a
feel
bad
safe
person.
right
I know.
now. I just need to feel safe
Well,
right now.
Val's
Dave.
going to protect you with space lasers.
All right. Oh, well,
This
I've
movie
never
actually
seen
has-
this movie.
it's not very good in my opinion.
I've seen it many times
I
because
hate
it's
Val
the type of
Kilmer's
thing that
face.
shows up on TBS all the time.
Yeah, right?
I forgot you're
So-
spoiled and have cable. Rub it in. Haughty bitch.
I think
He's wearing Louboutins right now in the studio. I just want you to know.
Not
they're
true.
classy. They're classy Louis Vuittons.
Louboutins.
Yeah,
Whatever.
They really,
Louboutins.
they're a great contrast to your Confederate flag shirt, Casey.
Fuck you, I'm not wearing a Confederate flag shirt.
And with that, let's just turn out the lights and go home.
Good night.